So now continuing on with scientific statements, you finished reading the information in the book, and I want to consider one more thing before we start practicing this with scientific statements. So an individual named Karl Popper pointed out there's actually one other way to kind of consider this. So you have something on your red packet on page 12, which I copied from a university's website because I felt that it was very helpful. And you can see down here, there's the web link here. There's a number of quiz questions on that website that steps you through this procedure, which you might find helpful to do. I'm going to do a few of them with you, and then you might want to do a few more to just kind of have some more repetition. So he referred to this whole idea of scientific to be falsifiable. So his perspective is that a scientific statement is one that could possibly be proven wrong, which is the same thing that we're talking about. He said that a falsifiable statement is not automatically wrong. However, a falsifiable statement always remains tentative and open to the possibility that it's wrong. And when it turns out to be a mistake, we do have to have a way to detect that mistake and correct it. So there's a couple of statements here, and they're examples of non-falsifiable statements. The first one is an alien spaceship crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. Then a giant white gorilla lives in the Himalayan mountains, and Loch Ness contains a giant reptile. So in each case, if the statement happens to be wrong, all you're ever going to find is an absence of evidence. No spaceship parts, no gorilla tracks, and nothing but small fish in the Loch Ness. So that does not convince you that these statements could be false. You could say that everything was hidden or you just didn't find anything. So none of these statements have a test to be false. So they're really not scientific statements. However, you could revise the statements and modify them. So for example, no alien spaceships have ever landed in Roswell, New Mexico. So as soon as you find one spaceship and the statement is disproven, an exhaustive elimination of possibilities is not needed. As soon as you find one, you've proven the statement to be incorrect. And another modification of this other statement is the critter just pulled from the Loch Ness is a fish. And just one observation, like it has fur, is enough to prove that the statement is incorrect. So it is falsifiable. So in most cases, a falsifiable statement just needs one observation to disprove it. A statement that is not falsifiable usually needs some sort of exhaustive search of all the possibilities in order to disprove it. So I want to take a look at the website and go through a couple of things here because I think that they would be very helpful to you. So this is the link that is on your sheet of paper, and if you go down here to question, I'm just going to work through a few of these on this first column. So in this first one, which of the following statements is falsifiable? There is intelligent life on other stars. So let's see what it has to say. So to falsify that, you would have to inspect every other star in the universe, and there's really no good way to do that. Letter B, the moon is made entirely of cheese. Yes, all you would need to falsify the statement is a single moon rock that's not made of cheese. So that is definitely a falsifiable statement. Letter C, Isaac Newton was the greatest scientist. Well, that's really an opinion because greatest, and so there's really no way to falsify it. D, there is beauty in the sunset. Again, because it's a matter of opinion, there's no clear way to falsify it. And E, there is cheese on the moon. So to falsify this statement, you would need an exhaustive search of the moon and could never convince true cheese believers that you had done the search properly. So that's one set of examples. So another set, 102, is which of these is falsifiable? A, the Minoans were the first civilization on Crete. Yes. Just one pot that's from an earlier civilization on Crete will falsify the statement. B, the Minoans were the best civilization on Crete. Well, best, again, is an opinion. C, the Minoans were not the first civilization on Crete. To falsify that and establish that they were the first would require an exhaustive search for all possible traces that an earlier civilization might leave. Even if you could do that, you could never convince skeptics that you might have done it properly. D, the Minoans were not the best civilization on Crete. Well, it's a matter of opinion. E, the Minoans were a civilization on Crete. This is really a definition, so we can't falsify a definition. So hopefully some of these are giving you some ideas of how this all is going to work. So 103, which of the following statements is falsifiable? Passenger pigeons are extinct. So this one is, because as soon as you find one live passenger pigeon, it will falsify the statement. B, passenger pigeons are not extinct. To falsify this and show that they're really extinct requires an exhaustive search of every place that they might be hiding, and you cannot actually do that. C, passenger pigeons taste good. That's a matter of opinion if you want to eat them. D, passenger pigeons taste terrible. Again, that's a matter of opinion or a matter of taste. E, passenger pigeons were pests. Again, that's a matter of opinion, so you can't really falsify that either. So 104, which of the following statements is falsifiable? A, there are fish in Lake Nyack. No, to falsify that and prove there are no fish, you would have to exhaustively search all the places that they could be hiding, and that you can't really do. B, all the fish in Lake Nyack are green. Well, yeah, as soon as you find another colored fish, you would falsify the statement. And C, all the fish in Lake Nyack are beautiful. That is a matter of opinion. So if you would like to go through and look at some of these other ones, I suggest that you do so. It's actually fairly quick, just kind of walking through it like we did, and you will have a really good handle on this. So I want to go back to our worksheet on page 11, and we're going to do the first three together here. So the first one is human beings will never set foot on the moon. And that could be proven wrong, because as soon as somebody steps foot on the moon, and it only takes one, it is a proven negative. So this is a good scientific statement. Number 2, some of the laws that govern nature cannot be detected by scientists. Well, that really can't be proven wrong, because this idea of cannot be detected, how do you deal with that? And number 3, it is quite possible that in some other galaxy, the laws are fundamentally different than the laws we are acquainted with in this galaxy. This is not scientific, because you could look at many, many galaxies and might not find it. And again, this would be one of those exhaustive searches in order to find something. And so it makes it to be a non-scientific statement. So what you're going to want to do is finish up the questions on this page 11, identifying which ones are scientific and which ones aren't. And again, use that resource on the internet. That should be very helpful to you. And I will go over the answers in the next video.